A few days ago, I've watched a TV show 13 Reasons Why, and the fact that the girl was murdered by her parents never crossed anybody's thought, anybody's mind during the movie. It was never mentioned, but what I think is that they were the parents who murdered their kid. Just quickly about the TV show. A girl commits suicide and she gives 13 reasons on a tape why she had done it. And every single reason has the roots in her parents' attitude to her. I'll explain why. For example, the first reason she gives is that she went out on a date with a guy. He took a picture of her sliding down somewhere and her panties are seen. And then he sends this picture out to everybody saying that he fingered her. First of all, why would that be a problem even if he did, though he didn't? Why would that be a problem if her parents taught her that it's absolutely normal to be fingered by somebody? It's absolutely normal to have any kind of sex with whoever you want. And explain her how to avoid sex you don't want, how to get what you want in sex, how to actually find out what you really want, and how to ask other people about it. And it's normal to have sex. But no, her parents told her that it's not normal. Since she was born, she was told that it's not normal. She was told that she would have been considered a whore if she had sex with a guy or if he fingers her or anything like that. So of course, from the moment when she sees that picture, she feels extremely ashamed. And she feels that she's a whore and everybody is rightfully considering her a whore. Imagine if that's something like absolutely normal, like drinking Starbucks coffee. She comes to her school and a guy sends everybody a picture how she drinks Starbucks coffee. And everybody starts saying, you're a bad person, you're drinking Starbucks coffee, that's horrible. You should be ashamed of it. And she would think like, what the hell? Why would I think that drinking Starbucks coffee is not normal? Why on earth is not normal? What are those people talking about? She could tell that to everybody. She could write about it in her blog. She could come to a school counselor and complain to those kids who are bullying her. She could do whatever. She could call a newspaper. She could give an interview. She could share that information with her parents. In this case, can you imagine that she comes to her parents and shares that with them? No, because she will be horrified to do that. And they will be first people who would tell her that that's something bad, like that she was fingered by somebody. And in this case, it doesn't matter if she was or she wasn't. What matters why she's thinking that she's a whore if somebody does that to her, and why it's normal to treat her like one if some people know that she was fingered. Next thing, she's being friends with a girl and a guy, and they go to a cafe and they have coffee together, they just have some relationships together, they just hang out, share some stuff. And then suddenly she finds out that they stopped coming because they started seeing each other. Why would this be a problem for her? And why does she give it as a reason of committing suicide? If she had access to lots of kids or adults or whoever she wants to call her friend, if she finds common interests with lots of people, and if she's not being restricted from having all kinds of relationships possible with people she can find anywhere possible, if she's not refrained from that, if she's not told that like, having 1,000 friends is bad, or having adult friends is bad, or having friends among other layers of society is bad, there would be not a problem. You have 100 friends, you have like 5 girlfriends and 6 boyfriends. Why would suddenly it become a problem that the 2 of your friends you are not even in sexual relationships with suddenly start seeing each other? You can be happy for them, you can keep being friends, or you can give them some space, or you can offer them threesome. Anyway, all that attitude and all that problem comes from her parents again. Why has she been locked for like 16 years in her room? Why wouldn't they allow her to have as many friends as possible, to invite them, come over, or go out with them, or create blogs in internet? I'm sure she was deprived from having internet blogs or talking to adults. And yeah, the parents are shown as people who are nosing everywhere. They would just pry and they will stick their noses in everything she has. They would come to her room whenever they want. They will not allow her to even close her room door, so she wouldn't be allowed to, masturbate or watch sexual pictures on internet. Reason number 3, she was raped by a guy. She came to a party, they were sitting in a hot tub, and he turned her around and raped her. First, she never said no. She said she has to go home, but she never said no directly. She didn't scream. She didn't run half naked to their neighbors. She never called the police. She never called that guy's parents. In the end, she never told him, okay, it's gonna be my way, not yours. I don't wanna have sex with you this way. And, for example, she sticks her foot in his mouth. Or she just comes up with a different idea how she wants to have sex with him. If she was explained by her parents that having sex is absolutely normal, if she's been engaged in multiple situations when she is able to have sex and think about what she wants, if she was taught by her parents that there are ways to get what you want from sex, there are ways to enjoy it, there are ways to think what I want right now or I want later, how to talk about it to people, how to talk about what you don't want, and how to get out of the situations which are not enjoyable for you. If she was told 1,000 times that having sex is natural, it's normal, and there is nothing about it, when you go to shopping, parents tell you, okay, you choose whatever food you like, right? So it would be the same thing, you choose whatever sex you like. You choose who you like it with, and how you like it, and when you want to have it. So if that was explained to her, this situation would have never happened. And another thing which is suspicious for me in this case, I understand why she doesn't want to, if she had a lot of sex with different people, and with this particular guy she doesn't want to have sex, that's understandable, though the guy is kind of cute. But she doesn't want to have sex with anybody, without relationships. She's ashamed of her wish to have sex with anybody. She's ashamed of even thought that somebody might think that she's having sex. And who is guilty of that but besides her parents? Her parents are the ones who made her think that it's bad, it's dirty, it's so seamy to have sex. What are the other reasons? Again, some guy touches her knees in the cafe and behaves as an asshole towards her. She's waiting for him for an hour in the cafe, then he comes out after 1 hour with his friends, and probably they bet that he will touch her knees or something. And she's sitting there and waiting for him. If she has 5 boyfriends and 7 girlfriends, if she has 1,000 friends, why on earth would she be waiting for an hour for a guy who has been treating her as a piece of shit? Of course not. She would just stand up after 5 minutes and say, okay, what the hell? I'm not gonna wait for you. I have other things to do with my time. And she would be the one who can mock him or bully him at school. She can be the one who will be right to say that it's not normal to treat her like that. Have her parents explain her that it's not normal to be treated like that. When a guy makes you wait for that long, when there are so many guys out there who will treat you the way you want to be treated. Even if you want some strange things, strange, because nothing is strange which you actually want or like, and doesn't bring any harm to anybody. There will always be somebody who will like what you like. You have to look for it sometimes, yeah, and maybe most of the people won't want that. Who cares? Just take your time and find somebody who you will like, who will treat you as you deserve, the way you like to be treated. You want to have flowers and the guy who's coming in time? There are plenty of those. And girls and guys, and it's not a problem to find one. Have her parents explained her that? No. And again, they stopped her from seeing others, from seeing lots of people, from having her own experience. They stopped her from having life in general. And that's why she felt that way. That's why she felt that it was okay to treat her like shit, like a whore. I googled on one of the websites that the 10 most popular reasons why teenagers commit suicide, and in all of those reasons, parents are not really mentioned, maybe very artificially, very little. For example, reason number 1 is stress which comes from stupid expectations, from pressure of having to finish school, having to become somebody, having to go to college or university, find a job, get a family, get kids and grandkids and then die. Have a nice funeral, of course. Where are these expectations coming from? Are they coming from some people you don't know? Are they coming from your best friend who you're sneaking from the lessons together with? No, they're coming from your parents. And since you were born, you've been said that if you haven't finished your school, if you haven't finished your university, if you don't study all those subjects which you're not even interested in, if you don't force yourself and violate your own space and just kill your own wishes and joyful desires, you don't deserve to be a piece of society. And for years and years, even before kids go to school, they are taught that if they don't do this and that, they will not succeed in their lives. Why don't parents let kids do whatever they want? Why don't they support their wishes without forcing them to go to school or college? Why don't they help them to open their own business, start their own business at 5 or 9 or 15 years old? You don't have to go through those motions, through that stupid routine to become somebody. To become somebody, it's way easier to become somebody if you don't suppress what you are, what you really want. So I'm sure that the load of expectations in 90% comes from parents and relatives, and those are the ones who are guilty in the kids' stress. It's not stress, it doesn't go out of nowhere. The second reason, what was that? Being cyberbullying. It says that kids are being cyberbullied, and somebody, for example, somebody tells a girl that she's not attractive, to a guy that he's a loser, and they take it for real and they commit suicide. Why does this happen? I already told that if parents allow the kid to have 100 friends, to look for them in internet, on dating websites, in the swimming pool, in school, out of school, anywhere at all, if somebody has 1,000 friends, would they really care that some shithead called them unattractive in internet? You just laugh or just say, oh, shithead, unattractive yourself. Just close that one and find another place where you're not being told different kind of shit. It's not a problem. If somebody calls me shit in internet, would I be bothered? Absolutely not. I'll just ban that person and forget about it. But when I was a kid, I was also restricted from having lots of people around me. I was only allowed to have people from my own class, from my own age, only girls, only certain times, only certain way. But I was never allowed to be friends, for example, with guys 1 year older than me. Even if what we did was even perfectly innocent at some point. So parents are guilty in this too. They're completely guilty, fully. And can you imagine a teenager who comes to her mother and saying, oh, I went to that website and they called me unattractive? What will this mother say? She'll say, close internet immediately, close that website and never go there anymore, ever. The other reasons, sexual abuse. Number 3. So it's being taught to us by the society that if you are being sexually abused, if you've been sexually abused, you have to carry it through your whole life. You have to be really suffering. You have to be really suffering from that. It's a horrible thing. But I don't understand why it should be like that. Parents teach you that if somebody placed his penis inside your vagina forcefully, it's a huge problem which you have to carry along through your whole life. And that makes kids suffer all their lives. They have to go to shrink, they suffer from it when they're 60 years old already. And parents never say, okay, if it happens, first of all, it's not a big deal. It's much less horrible than, for example, breaking your leg when you have a lot of pain, you have to wear a cast, and you have to stop yourself from doing lots of activities. Okay, go do the check for STDs. You're not going to have HIV from that. It's kind of hard, unless there is some blood involved. So it's way less horrible. It's way less a problem than when you're like breaking something, for example, or getting in the car accident or falling from somewhere. But even if you are touched by somebody, by some crazy uncle or neighbor, even if there is no penis in vagina, people still think that it's something horrible, something which will completely destroy your life. And I understand why parents do so. They just bring up this hatred towards sex in you. And imagine if a parent tells the kid, the girl, okay, if that happens, first of all, you don't have to suffer. There is no injury, there is no anything like horrible. Go check for STDs. And secondly, carry condom with you. Just, if that happens already, just get a condom, be safe, and try to enjoy it even, if you can't get out of there. And also that parents will tell the kid, and if you really don't want it, you should go to like boxing or do jiu-jitsu or mixed martial arts, so you are able to protect yourself. And there is nothing horrible about it. I haven't seen mothers telling kids like that. And I was brought up thinking that if somebody touched me there, my lady parts, that's something which I have to be like thinking about my whole life. And actually I was touched as a kid by some crazy uncle, and I has been suffering from it till maybe a few years ago, and now I don't care. Okay, he touched me, then what? Much more problems I had when I fell from the roof and broke my finger because I couldn't walk for a while. And from him touching me, it lasted 3 seconds. That's it. Other reasons are like being neglected or being the parents divorcing. Who is the reason why children think that parents divorced are bad? If two people hate each other, the atmosphere in the house will be really bad. And again, if you have 100 friends, if you have a possibility to go anywhere you want and be friends with whoever you want, would you be suffering that the two people who are not even your friends, which like it's very rarely happen with parents and kids, that they will be living separately? I think it's just more fun when two people who don't like each other live separate, and you can like travel from one to another and have twice more gifts, let's say. And you're more free in general, because when there are two of them at the same time, you'll be watched more. Especially when they're trying to like fill the gap, the emptiness in their lives by having you, possessing you. And being neglected is from the same area. Why would you care if you're neglected by your mother, who you're not even friends with? And at the same time, you're not neglected by 100 friends you have. Of course, it's not necessary to have 100 friends. I'm not saying that every kid will have 100 friends if they're allowed to, but they might have, or they might not have. Maybe they want to sit alone. But just knowing that they can be friends with whoever they want, adults, kids, scientists, bike riders, anybody, will just make them like way more free. So I do think that in all those cases, parents are the real murderers. And they are the ones who, I hope, after 100 years or 500 years, they will be sitting in jail for infringing those morals, the sadistic and killing morals in the kids' head. Infringing their thoughts and beliefs which make people suffer through their whole lives and then make their children suffer from that. I'm surprised how this murder is being supported by government and by psychologists and by the whole society, and nobody sees the real problem. Nobody sees the problem is sticking those beliefs in the kid's head. So I hope to see the time when those parents start to go to jail, and I hope that people will start understanding and realizing that this is the real problem of teenager suicide.